Hi guys, it is April from Getting Hookah With It. Today I'm here with a book haul for you. I have so many books. Is it 12 or 13? 13 books that I'm going to share with you now. So let's get into it. Before we start, I wanted to mention if you like this video, hit the like button. It supports my channel, and also subscribe. I'd love to hang out with you here. So this is an enormous stack of books. Some of them are from Value Village, some of them are from Book Outlet, and then I went to a library, no, not a library sale. It was just like a church book sale, which was insane. Trying to go through this book sale with a stroller was next to impossible. Luckily, one of my best friends, Stacy, went with me, and she was able to like watch Nora while I went in, and then we'd take turns, and we both came up with some good books. So let's start with the one book that I got from Value Village. I finally picked up Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This will be my first Ray Bradbury. I think there's a whole, I want to say, mini-series on HBO that was recently done. It's a novella, about 150-ish pages, and it's a dystopian world in which there are these firemen who burn books. And we meet one of the firemen whose job is to burn all of these books. And he meets a young neighbor who tells him about this past where people didn't live in fear and people read books, and it makes him rethink his job, and it looks really good. It's a classic, I think a modern day classic, and I've always wanted to read it, so when I saw that at a Value Village, I knew I had to pick it up. It was quite dirty when I got it, so I had to like get out the magic eraser and just go to town because it wasn't looking so hot. The next two are from Book Outlet. I did some major damage that I think I showed you in a thriller haul recently, but I left two out. And the first is The Familiars by Stacey Halls. This sounds quite sad about a woman named Fleetwood Shuttleworth. She is pregnant. Now, she has been pregnant before and she's lost all of the babies, which, as someone who's gone through a miscarriage, like, I know that this is going to hit me hard. She decides to seek help. Now, her doctor has told her husband, I think, and she finds a note that says she's not going to make it through this pregnancy. Either she's going to die or the baby's going to die. So she decides to go to this woman who's a midwife. And, oh, by the way, this takes place in 1612 in England. She goes to this midwife, and the midwife says, I am going to get you through this pregnancy and the baby through this pregnancy. Don't worry. But then that same midwife is accused of witchcraft, and it is about their relationships together. It sounds fantastic. And beautiful. It's such a beautiful book. So I picked up The Familiars, which I'm very excited about, as you can tell. And then the other book that I got from Book Outlet is A Keeper by Graham Norton. Now, I learned about this from Lauren and the Books. And I think that he's a British author and also a British TV host, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is him. Here he is. I don't know if you can see that, but he has a show called The Graham Norton Show, and like has all of these celebrity guests on, and he's really funny. But I think this is a bit more of a mystery than anything else. This follows a woman named Elizabeth Keane who goes back to Ireland after her mom has died. And she's going back to Ireland to like clear out her mom's home, and as she goes through, she finds this stash of letters that have this secret that her mom, I think, has kept all of these years. And then we flash backwards 40 years earlier, and we meet a young woman who stumbles on a remote stone house. And I think these storylines interweave. It sounds wonderful. And I remember Lauren really enjoying his writing, and I'm eager to read him. I didn't know that he was also an author. So yeah, that's a keeper. And then a book that Stacy gave me that she really loved. It looks cute. It's Don't You Forget About Me by Mari McFarlane. This follows a woman who finds out that I think her boyfriend is cheating on her. He also, I think, discovers that her boss was this man that she actually met a long time ago. And I guess this guy has said, "I love your laugh," a long time ago. But now she recognizes that her new boss is that guy who said that to her. I guess there must be some sort of relationship way back then, but he doesn't remember her. Anyway, it sounds kind of cute. It's obviously a romance, and as you know, I don't read a lot of romance, but I'm willing to try it out. Stacy really liked it, and I usually have similar tastes in books and, you know, movies and that kind of thing. So this might be a really fun kind of book to read. So that's Don't You Forget About Me. And now we're moving into, the rest is all books that I got at that church book sale, which was insane, I have to say. But Nora was a real hit. Everyone seemed to really like her. So I also picked up The Ninth Hour. Now I have looked at this book so many times and have just never picked it up, but I knew from the get-go that I would be interested in this book. This follows a man in Brooklyn. I think this might be a historical fiction, but I don't know if it actually says when it takes place. Anyway, we follow a man in Brooklyn who has reached a really bad place in his life. He's been fired. He has a pregnant wife who he doesn't get along with, and he decides to kill himself. He does that by opening the gas tap in his Brooklyn tenement, and I think he sets the building ablaze. A nun ends up taking his pregnant wife in and helping her. It sounds very, very interesting, and I've been curious about Alice McDermott as well. I haven't ever read her before. This also was the winner of the National Book Award, so I am very curious about this one, I have to say. Now, another book that I picked up and I've been curious about, but I'm also terrified of a little bit, is the Swans of Fifth Avenue. And the reason I'm nervous about this is I don't usually like when authors take very prominent people of history and make stories about their life. I just struggle with that. And in this book, we follow Truman Capote and the women that he surrounded himself with. I think he ended up disowning them or betraying them at one point. And it's about their relationship together. It sounds good, and I've always been curious specifically about this one. So when I saw it at a book sale for like $3, I was like, I'm gonna take the chance. I'm gonna take the chance. So that's The Swans of Fifth Avenue. The next is a book that has been so much a beloved book of BookTube for many, many years that I just never ended up reading or picking up. Is The Unseen World by Liz Moore. Oh my gosh. How is this possible? There's no blurb on the back about what it's about, really, other than it says, the moving story of a daughter's quest to discover the truth about her beloved father's hidden past. I don't know. For some reason, I thought this was meant to be a bit dystopian. I truly, obviously don't know. But I know that a lot of people loved this not so long ago, and so I thought that I would pick it up when I saw it. Next is a book that I was sitting down with Nora, feeding her a bottle, and there was this stack of books beside me and the box said, "Place unwanted books here." And this was in it. and it's The Winemaker's Wife by Kristen Harmel. Now, I have her book, The Room on Rue Amélie, and I still haven't read it. Oh. But this is another historical fiction, and I read the little blurb and I was like, that sounds great. So this follows a married couple in Champagne in 1940. We follow Michel and his wife, and they are not doing well. Like, their marriage is crumbling. They're at each other's throats. And then the war comes to them, essentially. Now, the people in their town that are Jewish are being like rounded up and taken away. And Celine, who's the wife in this, is terrified because her father is Jewish, and that makes her partly Jewish at the very least. And she's terrified of being taken away. And a Nazi officer ends up showing up, and I think shows interest in her in some way. And it's about their story, and it sounds so tense, and I'm curious. So I was really pumped when I saw that, just sitting down, feeding Nora a bottle. Next is a book that everyone's talking about now. And again, I'm a little nervous because I don't read romance, but I saw it there. $3 again. How to Walk Away. I got this, guys, by Catherine Center. Everyone's been raving about this book, and so I saw it and I thought, I think I'll try it out. This follows Margaret Jacobson, who is in a new dream job. She's got a fiance, and I think she's in an airplane crash or something, and everything ends up kind of crumbling. It sounds like her fiance is a bit of a jerk, if I'm not mistaken. He's not a nice person. Her life changes, and she's like picking up the pieces of her life. And I think there is like a new love interest that emerges in here. It could be good for me. It could be good for me to try out a little romance. I've got like 2 here in this stack, so you never know. So that's How to Walk Away. And then I picked up Bodies of Light by Sarah Moss. I'm trying to remember what else Sarah Moss has written. I don't think I've read her before. If I am not mistaken, I haven't, but I've heard really, really good things about her writing. This takes place in Victorian Manchester, and we follow 2 sisters. One of them poses for the artists of her father's circles, and then the other is trying to become one of the first female doctors. And it sounds like there is a lot of tragedy in this family, and it is about their relationship with one another, their experience being women in this time. And I've just heard such good things about Sarah Moss that when I saw basically anything by Sarah Moss, if I had seen more, I probably would have picked up more. But I saw this, and so I picked it up. Bodies of Light. Next up is a curious one that I've seen quite a few times. I believe that this might be Canadian literature. Yes, he lives in British Columbia. This is The Cellist of Sarajevo. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that right. But this follows a man whose city is under siege. A bomb kills 22 people waiting in line to buy bread on the street below. And he vows to carry his cello to the town square, I think. Into that cratered street. At like a certain time every single day, he's going to go and play, kind of in homage to those people who've passed away. And what he doesn't know is that there's a young woman who's been watching him each of those days. And I think their stories intermix. It sounds a bit like a romance, and it sounds very heart-wrenching as well. So that blurb, there's something about it that just, it sounds like something that I would like. So I picked that up. 2 more. I got another book by Pierre Lemaitre. This is Irene. This is the prequel to, well, the first in the series of the Alex series. I read Alex, didn't love it. There's all sorts of spoilers in Alex about Irene, but I'm still curious about it. This follows a man who is like a police detective, and I think his pregnant wife is kidnapped, and it's about their experience together. It sounds really gripping, and he's a great writer. The only thing that I struggle with him with is that women are very hypersexualized. So I feel like he's, I don't know, he's definitely not a feminist. There's something about his writing that is a bit creepy in that way. I just don't like that. But he keeps you on your toes, and you can't help flipping the pages with any of his books. So I saw Irene and picked it up. And then last but not least is The Sellout. This is the winner of the Man Booker Prize. And I actually knew nothing about this book other than it was a hit just a few years ago. And then I read the blurb and I was like, oh, that does sound fantastic. So this is about a man who is a lower middle class man in California. He's raised by a single father who is a controversial socialist, and someone has decided to write his father's biography or memoir in some way. And this memoir is going to bring in all sorts of money and like really solve their financial issues. However, his father is killed in a police shootout, and obviously a memoir is not going to happen at that point. All that's left is the bill for a drive-through funeral, and it is about his experience losing his only parent, and losing his only parent in such a violent way. I think this is an important book, and I mean, it's been so loved in the book community that I saw it and I was like, gotta grab that one. So I got that, and that is it. I mean, that's enough, right? Like, I have really overdone myself. I don't know why I get so many books. I just get carried away at these book sales. Honestly, they're slightly overwhelming. Let me know in the comments below, have you gone to a book sale lately, or do you have a particular book sale that you love, that you try to go to every year? I'd love to know what that is for you. Also, in the description box below, I wanted to mention that I've started including things like my GOODREADS page, my Instagram page, my Amazon wish list, so you can head on over there and check it out if you feel like it. And that's it. I'm out. Have a good day, guys. Bye.